Throughout history, the urge to explore the unknown has driven remarkable individuals to the edges of the world and beyond. These are the stories of the great explorers, the daring men and women who mapped uncharted territories and reshaped our understanding of the world. Part 1. The Age of Discovery. Our journey begins during the Age of Discovery, a period marked by unprecedented maritime exploration. In the early 15th century, Portugal emerged as a leader in navigating uncharted waters. Prince Henry the Navigator, although not an explorer himself, was instrumental in advancing nautical science. Under his patronage, Portuguese explorers pushed further along the West African coast, driven by the quest for gold, spices, and new trade routes. His school of navigation laid the groundwork for future explorers. Christopher Columbus, A New World. In 1492, Christopher Columbus, backed by the Spanish monarchs Ferdinand and Isabella, embarked on a daring voyage across the Atlantic. With the Niña, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, Columbus aimed to find a western sea route to Asia. Instead, he stumbled upon the Caribbean, opening the door to the Americas. His voyages set off a wave of exploration and colonization, transforming the world forever and linking the eastern and western hemispheres in a way never seen before. Vasco da Gama, route to India. Following Columbus, Vasco da Gama's successful voyage in 1498 around the Cape of Good Hope to India established a sea route that revolutionized global trade. This route bypassed the overland Silk Road, controlled by Middle Eastern and Central Asian powers, and allowed Portugal to dominate the spice trade. Da Gama's journey was a monumental breakthrough that reshaped the economic landscape of Europe and Asia. Part 2. Into the Heart of Darkness. Moving from the seas to the continents, explorers began to penetrate the mysterious interiors of Africa and the Americas, seeking knowledge, resources, and routes. Lewis and Clark. Mapping the American West commissioned by President Thomas Jefferson following the Louisiana Purchase, Meriwether Lewis and William Clark embarked on an epic expedition from 1804 to 1806. Their journey from St. Louis to the Pacific coast was a quest to map the newly acquired territories, find a practical route across the western half of the continent, and establish an American presence before European powers could claim the land. Along the way, they documented countless new species of plants and animals and established relationships with various Native American tribes. David Livingstone. Dr. Livingstone, I presume? In Africa, Scottish missionary and explorer David Livingstone dedicated his life to exploring the continent's vast, uncharted interiors. His expeditions along the Zambezi River and his search for the source of the Nile captured the imagination of the world. Livingstone's relentless pursuit of knowledge and his humanitarian efforts highlighted the complex interplay between exploration, science, and colonialism. His legendary encounter with journalist Henry Morton Stanley, who greeted him with the famous words, "Dr. Livingstone, I presume," remains one of the most iconic moments in the history of exploration. Part 3. The Poles, Last Frontiers on Earth. The late 19th and early 20th centuries marked the era of polar exploration, where adventurers raced to reach the Earth's most remote, inhospitable places. Robert Peary and Matthew Henson, The North Pole. In 1909, Robert Peary, accompanied by Matthew Henson, claimed to be the first to reach the North Pole. Their achievement was the result of years of expeditions into the Arctic, facing extreme cold, treacherous ice, and relentless hardship. Henson, an African-American explorer, played a crucial but often overlooked role in these expeditions. Their successful journey showcased human endurance and determination, though their claim remains subject to controversy. Roald Amundsen, Conquest of the South Pole. Meanwhile, in the Antarctic, Norwegian explorer Roald Amundsen successfully reached the South Pole in December 1911, beating his British rival Robert Falcon Scott. Amundsen's meticulous planning, use of sled dogs, and deep understanding of polar conditions were key to his success. His expedition not only achieved a monumental geographic milestone, but also demonstrated the importance of preparation and adaptability in extreme environments. Part 4. Space, the Final Frontier. The desire to explore has not been confined to Earth. The 20th century saw the last great frontier, space. Yuri Gagarin, orbiting the Earth. In April 1961, Yuri Gagarin of the Soviet Union became the first human to orbit the Earth, launching the era of human space exploration. His historic flight aboard Vostok 1 demonstrated that humans could survive and function in space. Gagarin's journey was a major victory in the space race and a pivotal moment in human history, inspiring generations of scientists and explorers. Neil Armstrong, a giant leap. 8 years later, in July 1969, Neil Armstrong stepped onto the moon, uttering the famous words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." As commander of Apollo 11, Armstrong, along with Buzz Aldrin and Michael Collins, fulfilled humanity's age-old dream of reaching our celestial neighbor. This achievement marked the pinnacle of space exploration and underscored the potential of human ingenuity and perseverance. Conclusion: the legacy of exploration. The legacy of these great explorers is not merely in the lands they charted or the seas they navigated, but in their unyielding spirit of curiosity and adventure. Today, as we stand on the brink of new discoveries about our universe and ourselves, we continue to be inspired by their courage and determination to go beyond the horizon, to explore the unknown. Their stories remind us that exploration is a fundamental aspect of the human spirit, driving us to push boundaries, seek new knowledge, and strive for greater understanding. Whether on land, at sea, or in space, the great explorers have paved the way for future generations, showing us that the quest for discovery is a journey without end.